Of course, I've been paying attention to the news. I saw what happened in Ohio and elsewhere. I know we're seeing patterns, but let's walk this down rationally. So, it's been stated that 1,000 train derailments happen annually. That doesn't lessen the impact of what we're seeing, of course. The fact of the matter is that depending on where you live and its proximity to one of these events, you've been poisoned for a long time. Ask the residents of Flint, Michigan. What we're seeing is everyone on high alert. A legit Chinese balloon got shot down,
Blow that piece of junk out of the sky!
and then three others that were shot down ended up being nothing of the sort. No one ever talks about worsening and aging infrastructure seen across many old rail lines. When was the last time you've seen honest to God workers out there pulling John Henry duty and laying new track? We've known for a while that some businesses will pull unethical stunts and hide waste to the point that we joke about it.
Well, sir, where should we dump this batch? The playground?
No, all those bold children are arousing suspicion. To the park!
Seeing as how it's done by every kind of business, whether it's a capitalist corporate entity or a communist state-run conglomerate, the problem boils down to human laziness, apathy, fatigue, and the inability to function proactively. It's because of this human failing that I advocate not only self-sufficiency through acquiring stored goods and useful skills, but financial preparation and success as well. It's crucial to begin thinking of monetary issues as preparedness issues. I'm going to be a bit more direct just because of the alarming rate that news is funneled and processed. First, the news cycle wants you to be scared but not deathly afraid. A cycle of profit dependent on your attention is built in. I've talked about this numerous times before, but they've learned if you're too scared, business grinds to a halt and everyone loses. We see the lingering effects through inflation and damage caused to the various American industries. A saber rattled in Eastern Europe is concerning to Americans, but not in the same way potential issues with China resonate. Now, the virus from 2019 is a prime example of how people would react to something that is an immediate threat. If we tell people it's going to be bad, how would they react to that when they realize companies have been dumping stuff in these waterways for decades? It's hard to prove culpability and wrongdoing in many of those cases as well, because of the various tactics that shady people always use to hide their tracks. I can get into why the arts and culture are important, but why is this an example of why being financially prepared is important? It's simple. Money gives you options. Look to the poor woman that lost her chicken family. If she were full-on homesteading with tilapia, chickens, a garden full of varied vegetables and fruit trees, all of that is contaminated now, if not dead or dying. If you are a traditional prepper, you have a time limit until your supplies run out. And when you run out of gas mask filtration canisters, you will go all in and breathe whatever is floating in the air. If you're a tactical bro that thought it would be Mad Max, sorry. Humans like order and are going to be maintaining it. If you're stealing from your community and pooled resources of a region, you're probably going to be dealt with harshly. We recently visited the old Whaley House in San Diego, and when the town was founded, they hanged a man over stealing a boat. You know who can make an impact or choose not to have it be their problem anymore? The people who have connections, the people who have financial means to make their desires happen. Contrary to what you're probably thinking now, there are levels to this. I don't mean going full Elon. I mean with between 2K to 10K depending on distance and the amount of stuff you have, you can pick up and go. You have to be resourceful and learn about the services provided in your chosen rally point, such as places that allow for car camping, sheltering, apartments, etc. It's not going to be ideal or safe in some cases, but that's your risk versus reward decision to make. And don't say that this is an unattainable amount. Some of you guys have enough guns, gear, and ammo to put these figures to shame. Some of you have vehicles that guzzle the hell out of gas and you haven't planned beyond your next full tank. I've seen monthly notes that take up 1/3 of somebody's check. People splurge and then they go out and buy all this and then they say they don't make that much. Healthcare in general pays. It's unsavory work lots of times, but the bonuses can be eye-watering. If you're getting taxed at an extreme rate, how are you writing things off? It's a totally separate discussion you should have with a financial advisor. The trades can pay well. You have to study which trade is in demand in your area, of course, but that's my point. Skills pay the bills. Depending on your area, actual on-the-job experience is being accepted in lieu of college time, and that's becoming increasingly common for jobs that fall outside of the realm of STEM. It's only going to accelerate as well, as the boomer generation ages completely out of the job market decision-making process. You have to maximize your earnings, not just savings, earnings. That includes studying, investing. So if you kick the bucket now, your children start the game with extra ammunition. What about gold? Okay, great to have. Residents around the danger zone in Ohio would still have to sell it somewhere and they're better off than those that have nothing. But preppers have hyper-focused on one genre of emergencies without incorporating elements of versatility. You've built up the walls everywhere else by buying preps, homesteading, and getting training with your tools. But many people, many preppers are still vulnerable towards one area. No one has really talked about maximizing your own personal value, your income through work, investments, business savvy, the freedom and versatility that it all provides. It allows you to actually sit back and analyze all of this with a clearer mind. Before Ohio, there was the virus, Afghanistan, rap music, Chernobyl, Satanists, peak oil, Vietnam, World War II, the Great Depression, Prohibition, World War I. There are so many issues from every generation. You can imagine what it would have been like if they had access to the speed and saturation of the information that we have today. The reason the amount of what you see is unprecedented is because the rate that it's being fed to you and pushed onto your screen for profit or for manipulation is unprecedented. Become an asset, not a liability. You can affect change and create culture and be a leader through example. But first, you have to be able to pick up your ball and walk away if needed. Until the next video, be good, stay safe, and have a good one.